because a lot of people were on the speaker section. Then people were coming in to speak, and that unfortunately the space went down. But all the same, it's one of those things. I want to appreciate you so much for all you've done for us today. Actually, thank you so much. God bless. Veteran, Ancestral Warrior is raising his hand, so let's hear from him. Ancestral, you can go ahead, my brother.
Yeah, okay. Our protocol officer, good evening, everybody. So I was speaking then when the other space went down. So I wanted to conclude then. So like what our veteran what we have been saying about the the Christian killing and the other things that the jihadists they are doing. Like I said, there's one post I saw this afternoon, and you know all these terrorists, they say that their Quran made them, instructed them to be terrorists. And for them, like we Christians that believe that there is hellfire, there is a heaven, and we should do things that when we die or we are going to inherit the heaven kingdom of God. That is something that we are told that terrorism is their own fate. And when they die out of terrorism, they'll be given 70 virgins in their own kingdom. And this thing have made me to come to a conclusion that I'll begin to ask whether our own God, okay, let me just put it like this, whether the God of our ancestors, our traditional God, the God of the Christians, and the God of the Muslim, are they the same God? Because in their own, they use their God to kill. Then in our own God, being Chukwukabiyama, our God doesn't instruct us to kill. And if you come to Christianity, that the same God doesn't instruct, Christian God doesn't instruct us to kill. But you see them, these people, whenever they want to kill, they be shouting "Hala Akova, Hala Akova," meaning their own God can kill, and their own God instruct them, which is that their Quran they believe. So what shall we do for us to extract ourselves from this thing? Is just for recognition of Biafra, and it's only Biafra alone that can bring this thing to an end. Like I said before, in the whole of Africa, not only sub-Saharan Africa, in the whole of Africa, when Biafra is restored, recognized, insecurity, terrorism will stop to zero level, because we are going to monitor them. We have the capability, the technology, the manpower, everything, both the economic and the military might to stop them. We know that people that are sponsoring these people are Iran. We all of us we know that. But when this thing when Biafra is going to be restored, now we know we can know how we're going to engage in our foreign allies, economic ties. You know, see who opposed them the other day. He welcomed this ambassador of Iran to Imo State. You know what that is? That meant. But if it is Biafra, nobody can do it, because we cannot welcome a terrorist organization, a terrorist country into our own region, into our own states, and all these things. So I begin to say, like 4 days ago, when our current PM, NKERE, he was making his submission in his broker, he said, very, very soon, in days, in weeks, we are going to hear a news, a very breaking news that will marvel people. And I believe that news, because I said many people are fighting him because he's the current PM, not by his own power, but the people elected him because of the constitution. And people that are making jest of him, that people who doesn't know about the constitution, that will have constitution that is guiding us and the bylaw. And because based on that bylaw, because of how we want a government and we want to practice that government, we have to abide ourselves by the constitution. So that breaking news that I know that is coming, that breaking news will release our leader, NNAMDI KANU, even our leader, Simon Ekpa. They will be freed. And that breaking news, I believe every one of us in this space have had it in their hearts, that there will be a formal recognition of Biafra. How it will happen, I don't know. But what I believe so, and I saw it in my dream and in vision, that are going to be very soon, they're going to be a total full recognition of Biafra, Israeli and the Americans. So that will bring about the total freedom of our people, Simon Ekpa, and other people being incarcerated in every prison all over the whole world. So the only thing we'll have to continue doing is to continue to sponsor and support Brigi and the defense and our lobbying firm and the lobbyists for the Biafra will be recognized. So that's my take and support this evening. Thank you very much. As other people are contribute their own. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ancestral. Thank you so much, my brother. You spoke well. Our gods and theirs, I don't think, anyway, it's obvious. They are not the same. I don't even know how to even explain theirs, but then that's the reason why we should do all we can to, separate ourselves from these people, So it is a done deal. So there's no going back on that. So thank you very much, my brother. We have our sister Chichi. Chichi, are you there?
Yeah. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah. Good evening, sir. Veteran. Good evening, Biafrans. Good evening, everyone in the space. I want to use this time to thank everyone who have never allowed yourself to be distracted, because there are so many distractions everywhere in social media. We keep on focusing. Yes, let me talk about the topic. Biafra independence will stop everything we are going through, and our enemies know it. That's why they are fighting tooth and nail not to make it to be real. But this generation will make it to be real by the grace of Chukwu Gabiama. This at times it baffles me, seeing what though I do not see them as our people, I see them as enemies. All these puppets that was instituted in our land. I begin to ask myself, are these men blind to see the handwriting on the word? We are fighting for our freedom, and they has become enemies at the gate. I can't imagine for how many years Soludo has been fighting against the willingly sit at home that our people have been observing to show the world that we are angry about what we are going through, about what they are doing to our leader, NNAMDI, about how many of our people has been killed in the prison. Some of our people are in prison in Kaduna. Some of our people are in prison all over Nigeria. And these people are not feeling our pains. They are not feeling our heart has been broken. I begin to ask, what kind of people are these? Are they human beings? Are they human beings? You can see how Soludo has been displaying his stupidity against our people in Anambra, threatening them that he will shut down their business place for 1 week. I begin to ask, these people, are they not seeing the Islamization handwriting on the wall, or have they been Islamized and they are pushing for all of us to be Islamized? Please, my people, I want us to be focused. Right now, they have nominated Obi Kubana as City Boy Agboro. Now come to recruit our boys to snatch ballot for terrorist APC. Please, if you are in the homeland, sanitize our young men, our young women, our mothers. That their shenanigans, their calling the nation, nobody should pay attention to them, because we are at the last breath of our freedom. We don't need any distraction. Please, we need to educate our people that they should not mind these people. They are our enemies. They are the one holding our future. They are the one holding us down. That's why the Obi Kubana of all people bring himself down.
Don't mind that idiot.
To accept a terrorist appointment. It beats my heart. They succeeded in using Bianca Ono, now is Obi Kubana. Our people must be wise to understand that these people are not working for their interests. It is only as many that is fighting for your freedom, they are the one fighting for your interests. Because in Biafra, you will have everything. In Biafra, as a sovereign nation, no military will embarrass you. In fact, you will not even see any Biafra military on the road, except when they are going to their duty posts. Our police will treat you with love and kind. So Biafra, as a sovereign nation, will bring the light to African continent. That's why enemies are fighting to the net to make sure they bring it down. But never. Biafra independent will stop the killings, will stop the Islamization that the enemies are pushing. Biafra as independent nation will bring light in Africa. Our people must stand. You must resist. We must continue to fight. Despite all they are doing, despite all their distraction, we must continue to fight. Our destination is freedom. We must fight to give our children a suitable country where their life, their property, their rights will be respected, will be protected, because we have had enough in that cage created by the Britain. Our freedom is in our hand. We need to fund Biafra government in exile, because that is the government of the people. This is our government. We need to fund them. We need to pray for them. We need to realize them. We need to put fire on them so that we will be free soon. I energize everybody to stand firm. Encourage your people. Encourage your brother, your sister in the village. Don't sabotage. Be your brother's keeper. At the end, we shall all gather to give praise to our great fathers who have stand with us in this difficult time. Thank you, everyone. May all us first remain blessed. Thank you.
Thank you very much, my sister Chichi. Thank you. Thank you so much. This point you made about Soludo is a very serious one that our people should take very seriously. There's nothing on earth that would make us to sit at home while our leader is unjustly detained or sentenced. It's going to be we betraying ourselves. And it is very bad for one to betray himself. There's nothing Soludo does. He has done it before. This is not the first time. He has done it. I think this is the third time he's made attempts. You know, there was a time he threatened to lock up the whole shops. That was when our former Prime Minister Sameba was still free. He made those threats then.
Exactly.
It didn't work. He made another one, I think, sometime last year. It didn't work. So it's not like the first time. Our people know what is right, and he cannot force us to, you know, do business when we don't want to do. He's not the owner of those businesses or those shops in the first place. Meanwhile, those owners of those shops still pay their taxes, still pay their shop rent. So he has no right whatsoever to force someone to open his business or not to open his business. So he just trying to, impress the slave masters as they normally do with two opposed them and the rest of them. We all know them. About Obi Kubana, we all know how the people like him end up at the end of the day. Maybe he has been given so much money to go and do thuggery. But such things can be done in Biafra land. We all know our people. At the end of the day, he's going to end up denting his name and that will be his end. I pity for him though and his children, because just like you made mention of Bianco, no, she's done. You know, she's done and she knows it. You know, so for Obi Kubana, at the end of the day, it's going to be in those categories. So they will fail woefully, of course.
They will, despite that, I've been enjoying the program. They have been bringing our space staff, and I really appreciate the resilience, especially smart standing there. Whoa, I miss you, my brother. It's nice to have you on the co-host today. Yeah, I've been enjoying your your submissions, and Daddy Veteran. Good evening from here. I'm sorry, I'm still on my way home, so but I will just try to, make my little submission. Uh, so, Biafrans, my people, we have been talking, hosting spaces, from spaces to spaces, with powerful topics since the beginning of this year. And today we can see how God, in His infinite mercy, is doing wonders, especially at this critical time that we are. So the reason why you see we have taken it up, you know, upon ourselves to make sure that at least even if it is this awareness, that we always make sure that we bring up here, we always do that so that tomorrow, because Biafra is a is a Biafra is the will of God. So, and in Biafra land, there is nothing like had I know. There is nothing like I didn't know. There is nothing like how I wish I knew. So that is the reason why God, despite the the sacrifice, the sacrifices of our innocent brothers and sisters for years. So I don't know how we as Biafrans will have a clue of our history, and sometime in a time like this, which is very very required, and a time like this when we have to come together and do the needful, fight for one common reason, for one common goal, then that is when some of you will allow um, the enemies to use you against your own brothers. But this is not 1967, so that is something that most of you have refused to acknowledge. So as long as this is not 1967, there are so many things, because we, these generations of now, of these days, we are very very smart and intelligent. So we are not like those generations that will be waiting for, if our father did not come, all those old men that are very very trickish. All this in our language we used to say "Okere na arala," like all these Igwe, all these people that come with titles. So these generations are not like those ones that when you come with your stupid red cap, then you begin to talk nonsense, and you expect your alamajiri boys or children to be listening to your jargons, when even though you are very very foolish with your red cap and your white hair. So that is something that they have failed to understand. So the problem is that they still continue to seek relevance, because they think that we are still in the era of the past. I never blame any of them, because this is how they have raised all their gens. They have raised all their likes. So they are all their likes. So this is the kind of mentality, this is the kind of idea that their likes have. So, but we, the genuine Biafrans who understand the meaning of freedom, are doing the needful. We understand that this is not an era of relevance. This is not an era where this is not an era where some few irrelevant miscreants who parade themselves in the corridor of power, like trying to claim relevance in the name of professors or doctors or whatever title that they may claim. This is not the time for you, this is not the time for you to succeed, because that is the reason why you people have been doing everything you have been doing. but you fail to understand this point that I'm raising. So fine, there's no problem. My major point here is that we have a topic here which says the Biafra independence, the only solution to end the genocide against Christians in the so-called contraction called Nigeria, the zoo. Yes, of course. It is only, yeah, let's see. It is only Biafra independence that will end the solution. Why, if you ask me? As it stands today, in that contraction as a whole, as it stands right now, it is only the Biafrans under the Biafran government in exile that are willing, that are ready. I used to say that it is only those who are ready that will be saved. If you are not prepared, okay, we are saying now we will go to farm, we will go to farm, we will go to farm. And we say, okay, next week we are going to farm. Don't you know that if you are going to farm, you have to go with cutlass, you have to go with hoe, you have to go with your crops, you have to go with whatever tools that you know that you are going to plant. We are going to farm. Okay, you know that we are going to go there with cutlass, with hoe and other things, with your crops. Which crops are you going to plant? Do you have the crop? Do you have the fruits that you are going to plant? Even though you have the hoes and other things, some of us, we allow ourselves to be very, very stupid and foolish at the same time. When we have brain, where we can ask ourselves questions, not even to ask, you can just ask yourself questions. That brain that God has given you, ask yourself questions to know if you are doing the right thing or not. So, like as we were saying, only those who are prepared will be saved. So it's still the same thing now, like we, the Biafrans, we are prepared and we are doing everything possible under one government. Which government? Under Briggy, the Biafran government in exile, which is the only government that is recognized today, piloting the affairs of we, the Biafrans. So if you are a Biafran and you have not been able to, to connect yourself with this government, which is the only government that is piloting the affair of we, the Biafrans, and you are alongside deceiving yourselves, and you don't know what we are talking about because you really don't know what the time is. The time is Biafra independence. That is what we are now, and that is what we are talking about. And it's not just going to come like that. That is the reason why we still have time. God has given us opportunity, giving you opportunity, to hear this gospel, to hear this message, so that you'll be able to key in, because Biafra is here. So this Biafra independence that we are talking about now, as Nigeria has consigned, Biafra, when Biafra come, Biafra will be a safe haven for majority Christians, not only for Biafran people, but also for those indigenous whatever they call themselves, because they are Nigerians, those indigenous ones, those indigenous Nigerians who are Christians, they will find refuge in Biafran territory. Biafran territory will serve as a refuge, when these atrocities, when this evil will intensify, because that is what I see if something is not done. So, moreover, Biafra independence, it's going to save a lot of Christians. It is going to save a lot of Christians, and it's also going to protect the interest of Christians, not only in Biafran territory, but also outside Biafrans, also outside Biafran territory. So this is the important. This is the reason why Biafra independence is even much more important. So, and this is the reason why you, as a Biafra, wherever you are, whatever you are doing, you have to understand that we have just one government that is fighting for this independence, that is fighting for this recognition. It is Biafran government in exile. You cannot fight for your independence with an entity, I mean, with an organization or with a group no. We all have to come together in one board. We have to come together and align ourselves with this government. We never had any other government. This has never happened in the history of our freedom fighting. We haven't gotten to this extent. Today we are in Washington, D.C. Who is taking us to Washington, D.C.? Is it not Biafra government in exile? It is Biafra government in exile. We cannot, the reason why it is government in exile is because we are still lobbying. We are still in exile. We are still seeking for our recognition. We are not yet fully recognized as a nation for us to go back. If we are fully recognized, this government in exile will be transited to the homeland. We all understand and we know this. So we have to continue to do what we have to do. So for our independence to be recognized. But we are here telling the world and telling others the importance and the importance and the reason and what benefits the Biafra independence is going to do, especially to the for the Christians, to the especially to the Christians around to the Christians in Biafra, and within the territory or within or outside the territory, who will definitely come to seek refuge, definitely when their atrocities will intensify, because they are not doing anything about it. It is only the Biafran people that are defending their land, defending themselves, fighting, speaking, doing everything possible, to make sure that Christians' rights are being protected and we are being saved. So that is the reason why as it stands right now, the only solution in that contraction right now is to allow it is the recognition of Biafra as an independent state. By the time Biafra is being recognized, believe me, though our border will be thoroughly controlled, we will definitely know who goes in and who goes out. But once you are genuine, once you are a Christian, once you have genuine intention, you have the refuge in Biafran land. You will have every protection in Biafran territory. So, and this is what we, the Biafran people, are fighting for. So we need freedom. We need a place where we will be recognized and where we can be protected, and be protected not by foreigners but by our own indigenous people. Thank you very much. Let me give the mic here because of my location. I will join back the conversation in short time. Thank you. Thank you very much, Mazi Veteran and Stanley. I really appreciate you.
Thank you so much, Mazi 1 million. Thank you so much. You spoke so well. Thank you very much. I enjoyed this your submission. It was straight to the point. Thank you so much, my brother. Thank you for making our time. Thank you so much. God bless you. Honorable Abigail, we have our honorable. Welcome, ma. You have the mic now. My honorable, are you there? Honorable Abigail. I think she's far from the microphone. Okay. So, fellow Biafrans,
I don't think that she's close to her mic.
yeah.
Abigail, are you there? No, maybe she will come back. She will.
Yeah.
She will.
Okay.
So did I even talk about the okay? Yeah. I touched that. Okay.
It's okay. Thank you very much. So, fellow Biafrans, we heard what our brother 1 million said. Everything he said. He says so much in a short period of time, and most of the things he said is what we already know. It's time to wake up. It is now or never. There's no best time we can do this apart from now. We've come a long way. And this is a fight for survival. We all are of age, and we have experienced, we have seen, we have been through, we have tested. And there's nothing we haven't seen. There's nothing we're going to be told that we haven't seen about Nigeria, terrorist state. There is no way for us to survive. There is no way for us to live up to our potentials. There's no other way to, escape these jihadist killings and massacres that happen on a daily basis, if not the independence of Biafra. That's just the truth. There is no other measure that could be taken that will avert all this killing. It's a pattern, just like our veteran said earlier in the other space. It's a pattern. It doesn't just happen. It's not a sudden incident. It is well orchestrated. It is a plan They have their template and they have an aim. They have an agenda which they've sworn to accomplish. They don't care how long it takes them. They don't care how many years it takes, but they've sworn to accomplish it. There was some references our brother Regent Free made before the first space went down. And those are the things that some of us overlook. If you look at the currency of Nigeria, you see the Islamic writings on it. Only God knows what it means because I'm not interested. So I've never really cared to know what that means. Then the one in their military flag, only God knows what it means. I don't know because I never cared to, because I don't think it's of any use to me to get to know whatever it is, the meaning is. Then in their constitution itself, in a country they claim that it's a secular country, how come it has Sharia law in the constitution? And the Sharia law is being embedded into the constitution through the back door, not officially. Then in the same constitution, their Islamic was mentioned multiple times, and there's no single place where Christianity was mentioned. These are the points raised on that first space when we speak. And all these things are out there for everyone to see. You don't even need to do extra research. You just have to do a normal research and you'll find those things. It is a well-planned agenda, and they're taking it bit by bit. And to prove to you that, to prove to us that our independence is the only thing that's going to save us, look back at the time of the Biafra War and ask yourself what brought about it. The Aburi Accord, where the issue of the zonal government was discussed for the very first time, what brought about that? It was still this same killing we're talking about. The way our people was being massacred, we are being massacred for no reason. In case you're wondering, sit back and ask yourself, why were those massacres took place? Why did they take place then? What was the reason why Nigeria was massacring and killing Biafrans, both in north and in west, in other parts of the country, then, that made Ojukwu to, initiate the regional government? What was our crime? What was our offense? If you ask yourself that question, you will find no answer to it, because there was no offense and there was no crime. It was all to fulfill the agenda, the Islamization, reduce their population, shrink them, box them into one corner, conquer them, and then Islamize them all. By the time, if they were able to inflict fear in us, automatically we've become the conquered people. But as long as we continue to resist, we will never be conquered. And we've been resisting them right from the amalgamation. Even before the amalgamation, we've been resisting them, because the economic war was a war of resistance, though that was between the British. But then there's no difference between British and Nigeria. You can't separate these two entities. So they are one. So if you ask this question, what was our crime for those massacres that brought about the Biafra, which Ojukwu felt was the only hope we had to succeed? What was our crime? You can't find an answer to it, no matter how hard you search. because there is no crime. It was just them trying to accomplish their agenda, which is the Islamization. And what they were trying to do is to, perpetrate so much terror that we will fold. That was how Turkey was Islamized. And that was how Iran found themselves in the situation they are today. They brought the terror, and there were not enough resistance. So people become scared and folded, and they become conquered people, and they become Islamized. Once they were conquered, Islamizing them became easy. Today, Turkey is nothing to write home about because they're already Islamized. Iran just woke up from their slumber. But that was really what happened to them because terror came first. And when the terror came, it was to put fear in them and make them fold. And once they fold, they are conquered. And once they are conquered, Islamization is just, a beans cake. This is something that is happening. They started slaughtering our people. General Ojukwu, may God bless his soul. He found out there's nothing we can do to stop this that is coming. I'm not sure he understood it was Islamization then. Maybe he does understood. But then he thought regional government would be, a better solution. But then he was disappointed because the Abuja Accord was thwarted or was trashed after the agreement was made in Ghana, in Aburi. So when that happened, the massacre continued. Our people continued to be killed in different parts of Nigeria in order to inflict fear for us to fold so that we'll be conquered and Islamization will become easy. Then he decided, since the Aburi Accord arrangement or proposal have been betrayed, it is time to secede. All that was to save our people. Biafra was born out of necessity, quest for survival, because we have no other option. When I listened to the US North and South rep last night, when he was narrating his experience during the war, the first thing he said is his father took him to school at Afikpo, and on their way back, they heard that Aba had been bombed. All these things is to get us into being scared, and then we fold, and then we become conquered people, and then we can easily be Islamized. The reason why we still talk about it today is because we've been resisting them from Adams. We are the only people that will resist them till the end of the world. And that's why we are still standing. But then they're still killing us. So our independence is the only way we can completely resist them and end it. Without that, there's no other way. Ojukwu saw that. And that's why he chose to go to war. Though he didn't really start the war, but today, if you hear Nigeria's narrative or their own story, they say Ojukwu started the war. But Ojukwu didn't. Ojukwu defended himself. And our senior citizen veteran made mention of self-defense while he was ending his submission. Self-defense. He said it's the best way to defend yourself. The best form of defense is self-defense. What Ojukwu did was self-defense. But Nigerians said he went to war. But he didn't. He only came back to Biafra land, told his people to come back home, and we stayed in our land. We didn't invade. It was Nigeria that invaded. It was Nigeria that started dropping bombs. We didn't invade anybody's land. We came back home to our ancestral land and said we can no longer be part of Nigeria. And we have rights to our self-determination. And that pronouncement is legal according to UN Constitution, according to human constitution. Because human being has the right to decide to be part of you or not to be part of you, or to be part of an entity or not to continue being part of it. Nobody that is being massacred and killed will want to be part of a nation that wants to kill them and shed their blood on a daily basis. So you called our people back and said, let's have our own nation. And that was all he did. He never went to Nigeria territory to kill anybody or to shoot. Rather, Nigeria came with their military to invade Biafra territory. All that is for the Islamization agenda, nothing more. Britain might be after the resources, the oil, but that's not really the issue. I think the Islamization is the main agenda, because once the whole country is being Islamized, Britain will have free toll, even though they are still getting it freely, though, the resources. But at that time, there will be no resistance anymore. Because once it is Islam, if we were able to be Islamized, there'll be no obstacles anymore. The resistance is dead and gone. There'll be no disturbance. Everybody's Islam. Then there'll be no strength. Most of the laws will be transformed, to Islamic laws, which we all know what it is. It happens in the north. Some of them, their hands are being cut off because of the 12 states that practice Sharia law. We saw the alcohol they were breaking the other time. The bottles of beer, I saw it on social media. I think Minister of Information posted it. If we were to be Islamized, you can't drink beer. For those of you who like beer, everything becomes an offense. As a young lady, you have to wear a mask and look like a masquerade. Whether there is sun, whether there is rain, that's how you're going to dress. You're going to be just like the people of Iran. That's the agenda. So our resistance is the reason why we are still standing, telling these stories. If we had folded, we would have been conquered. And conquered people would be easy to Islamize. So what am I trying to say? The topic, independence, is the only solution. Our independence is the only solution. There is no other solution whatsoever. Total independence.
Yes.
Full restoration of the independent states of Biafra is the only way. Sometimes I look at our people, the ones that are against what we are doing, and some of them are